Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. We aim for surprising facts, maybe a little humor, just enough to keep you hooked. Today, we're plunging into the world of fine watchmaking. It's this arena where, chasing precision and design perfection isn't just a goal. It's really an art form, sometimes a philosophy, and often, like today, a fascinating engineering puzzle. Our focus for this deep dive is something pretty intriguing, the new Beda'a Angles Mecaline. This isn't just, another watch release. It feels like a big step for a brand already known for its very distinct style. So our mission, if you will, is to unpack why this new watch matters, especially its move from quartz to mechanical. What does that shift tell us about precision, design, and where watchmaking is headed? We're using the new Beda'a Angles Mecaline article as our guide here. It lays things out really well.
It really does. And, it's more than just a product launch story. It's quite compelling, actually. It's about a brand that seems to have genuinely listened to what its fans were asking for. And then, maybe even more impressive, they tackled a really specific, very demanding engineering challenge to deliver on that. It's like this tightrope walk, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keeping a beloved design, but integrating that complex mechanical heart. This is a lot about their dedication.
That's a great way to put it, a tightrope walk. Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's maybe start at the beginning.
Yeah.
The origins of the Beda'a Angles collection itself. I mean, this line has really been the cornerstone for Beda'a since it first appeared, right? It gave them such a recognizable identity.
Oh, absolutely. A cornerstone.
What was it about that initial design, that distinctive octagonal bezel on the sharply angled case middle, the main body part? What made it pop for you?
Well, there's this kind of inherent tension in the design. The source calls it an architectural presence, which I think hits the nail on the head. That octagon bezel, it's not just slapped on, it feels integrated, like it's carved out its space from the case middle. And this structure, plus the stepped layers and the mix of brushed and polished finishes, it creates this incredible visual depth. It gives the watch real substance, but somehow it appealed just as much to women as to men. That's pretty rare.
Yeah, it is.
And that broad appeal, well, that's why it quickly became a genuine bestseller for them.
That unisex quality is really something. Suggests a design that kind of bypasses the usual gender cues, focusing more on just clean lines and geometry. And the original quartz line, it was also really versatile, wasn't it? Different sizes, loads of models. From, simple steel ones to really bright, fashion-forward looks.
Exactly. That accessibility and variety in the quartz angles line, that was a huge part of why it worked so well. But the thing that really caught on, the thing the brand got known for, was that ultra-slim profile. It wasn't just a feature, it was like the defining thing.
Yeah.
And it proved there was real market demand for that specific look. But definitely hit on something there.
Right. And here's the twist, the crucial bit from our source. Despite all that success with quartz, watch enthusiasts wanted a mechanical movement. Now, for a lot of people, this isn't just about how the watch works. It's about, the soul of watchmaking.
Precisely, yeah.
What does that demand tell us about how collector values might be changing, moving past just looks?
It's a really interesting dynamic, that push-pull. The quartz versions, they had clear plus points, affordable, super accurate, and that fantastic slimness. But wanting a mechanical movement, that taps into something, deeper for enthusiasts. It's about connecting with traditional craft, the beauty of tiny gears working together, a sense of something lasting. It's less about just telling time and more about the micro-engineering as art,
Yeah.
So this demand, it shows a certain maturity in the brand's audience, maybe. They want the great design and the horological substance. But it also threw down a massive challenge. How do you fit a mechanical movement in without losing that signature thinness?
Okay, so that's the setup. Clear demand for mechanical, but this absolute need to keep it slim.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the Mecaline and the core challenge for Bella's CEO and designer, Sohaib Magnum. What was his sort of non-negotiable starting point?
Magnum's big insistence, the guiding rule for the whole project, was basically preserve the ultra-slim profile, no matter what. And, that's a huge ask in watchmaking. Mechanical movements, just by nature, have more parts. They need more room than quartz chips. So keeping that thinness while housing all those tiny moving parts, that takes serious engineering, clever design, maybe some tough choices.
Right.
And this is where it gets, fascinating, as the source says. They apparently spent 15 months of fine adjustments. Just imagine that. 15 months tweaking, prototyping, chasing fractions of a millimeter.
Wow.
The end result. A 37 millimeter by 34 millimeter steel case, that's just 6 millimeters thick.
6 millimeters.
for a mechanical.
Yep. And get this, that's only 0.7 millimeter thicker than the quartz version.
Barely anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They basically kept the original feel, the proportions, those sharp lines, which in mechanical terms is pretty remarkable.
Incredible detail.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just the thickness, right? They made other tweaks too, like the crown re-engineered for better grip and comfort, not just looks. And they slimmed the bezel a bit, changed the crystal and dial slightly, and this sounds important, went for a solid steel case back. Why do that instead of a display back? Lots of mechanicals like to show off the movement.
That's a really key point. A sapphire display back, while nice to look at, always adds a little bit of extra height. Maybe only a fraction of a millimeter, but still.
Okay.
So choosing solid steel, that was purely pragmatic. It was all about hitting that slimness target. It shows every single decision was filtered through that goal. Keep the angles aesthetic. And all these little changes, they work together so the case still feels really sharp and contemporary like the original, even with that hidden mechanical depth. It's smart adaptation.
Makes sense. And just for practicality's sake, you mentioned water resistance is 30 meters.
That's right. Fine for everyday wear, splashes, rain, that sort of thing. Not for swimming, obviously.
Got it. Okay, this is where, for me anyway, it gets really interesting, the dial. It's the face of the watch, its personality. How does the Mecaline keep that Angles minimalism going, especially now it has, an extra feature?
The philosophy seems really clear, very disciplined. Pure surfaces, refined finishes, and nothing superfluous. For Beda'a, minimalism isn't just emptiness. It's about making sure everything that is there really earns its place and is done perfectly.
Right. And the Mecaline adds something new. A small second subdial down at 6 o'clock.
Right.
How does that fit into the minimalist picture?
Well, it's integrated pretty cleverly by the sounds of it. Because it's a distinct smaller circle, it actually kind of helps the minimalism. It breaks up that main dial surface in a controlled way, gives your eye something to focus on without adding clutter. And the first colors they launched are two glossy dial colors, black and taupe-grey.
Classy choices.
Yeah. Very sophisticated, not loud. They let the case shape do the talking.
And I love the sound of the textures they're using. That small seconds isn't just flat, is it?
No, exactly. It's described as sector style with either a semi-matte sunray finish or a circular graining.
Ah, nice.
So you get the subtle contrast against the main glossy lacquered part of the dial. It stops it looking flat, gives it a bit of life when the light hits it.
Creates that depth. Yeah, I can picture that.
Definitely. And then you've got the Hans Dauphine style, sharp, faceted, easy to read. Their geometric shape fits perfectly with the whole minimalist architectural vibe of the Angles collection. Everything just seems to work together.
Okay, engine room time. Let's talk about what's actually powering this thing. What's the heart ticking inside the Angles Mecaline? And what does that choice tell us?
They went with a real classic, the ETA 7001 Peseux.
Ah, the 7001.
Yeah. It's not just any old movement. The source calls it one of the most time-tested hand-wound calibers in Swiss watchmaking. For people who know watches, that name means reliability, slimness, and a long history. It's a benchmark, really.
And the specs. Our source lists them out. Famously slim, reliable, beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour.
Correct.
42-hour power reserve, 17 joules.
Yeah.
Hours, minutes, and that small seconds at 6. What does that beat rate, 21,600, mean in practice?
So 21,600 VPH, that's 6 beats per second, or 3 hertz. It's a very standard, very robust frequency for hand-wound movements. It's generally considered less stressful on the parts than higher beat rates, which adds to its reputation for durability and needing less frequent servicing.
Okay.
And 42 hours power reserve, that's solid for a daily watch. You wind it in the morning, wear it all day. You can even forget to wind it the next morning, and it'll likely still be going. It's practical.
Strikes a good balance then.
Yeah.
Heritage feel, but works for modern life.
Exactly. And connecting that back, the practical side of choosing the ETA 7001 is pretty significant for you as an owner. It's widely known for its ease of maintenance. Service centers everywhere know this movement.
Oh, good point.
Which makes it a really pragmatic choice that ensures cost-effective ownership down the line. So it shows Beda'a is thinking about the whole package, respected Swiss mechanics, yes, but also making it practical and reasonable for the owner long-term, not just the initial wow factor.
That's thoughtful. Okay, so we've got the case, the dial, the movement.
Yeah.
How does it all come together on the wrist? What about the straps?
They've paired it with supple Epsom leather straps. Epsom's that textured calfskin known for being quite durable and elegant. And they're color matched. Black strap for the black dial, taupe-grey for the taupe-grey dial. Makes sense.
Nice touch.
And they're not just basic straps either. Hand-stitched, leather-lined, tapering down to a polished steel pin buckle. The width is 19 millimeter, which should feel balanced with the case size.
So the whole package feels considered, right down to the strap.
Sticks that way.
And availability.
Yeah.
If anyone listening who's suddenly quite interested.
Good news on that front, it's apparently available immediately, and it's going to be a permanent part of the portfolio.
Permanent, not limited edition. What does that signal usually?
It usually signals confidence, that the brand sees this not just as a special release, but as a core part of their lineup going forward. It means they're committed to this mechanical evolution of the angles. It's here to stay.
Makes sense. Price is still to be confirmed. But you can find more details on their website, belawatches.com.
Okay, let's zoom out. What's the bigger picture here? What does this deep dive into the Beda'a Angles Mecaline mean for you, our listener? Why should you care, even if you're not buying one tomorrow?
Well, I think it's just a really compelling story, isn't it? About how a brand can evolve its most important collection, its flagship. They clearly listened to what people were saying, and then they really buckled down to solve a tricky engineering problem, keeping it slim with a mechanical inside. It's a great little case study in being responsive, but also innovative in how you serve tradition, if that makes sense.
It does. It shows that you can listen to your audience without just, throwing away what made you successful in the first place. And what you end up with here is this fantastic blend, that really striking modern design, octagonal, architectural, minimalist, unisex. It's all still there. But now it's got the heart of a proper, time-tested Swiss mechanical movement inside. It's like contemporary style meets real watchmaking substance, a modern classic in the making, perhaps? Could be. It definitely highlights that dynamic between, the surface aesthetics, the design appeal, and the horological depth underneath. That's a big theme in watches today. It's a study in how you balance being fashion-forward with having genuine mechanical cred. And it raises that big question for any design-led brand. How do you keep your unique look, your visual DNA, while also adapting to what your customers want under the hood, especially when it comes to complex mechanics? It's a really delicate balancing act.
A very delicate act indeed. And that, everyone, brings us towards the end of our look at the Beda'a Angles Mecaline. Quite a journey from its quartz roots to this sophisticated mechanical update.
Yeah, it really is. So maybe a final thought to leave you with, consider how this watch, the Angles Mecaline, represents that successful tightrope walk we talked about, holding on to a really strong, iconic design while weaving in the depth and, let's say, the soul of traditional watchmaking. What might that tell us about where watch design is going? A future where maybe the lines between the look of a watch and its inner workings get even more blurred, where brands strive for both that immediate visual wow and that deep mechanical credibility. Something to think about next time you check the time